Hello everyone, today I'm going to be making a video to show you how to convert between the Buildcraft's Minecraft Joule energy system, better known as MJ, into the Industrialcraft electrical energy system, known as EU. The reason why I'm going to be covering MJ to EU conversion is because the other way around, EU to MJ, is very easy with the electrical engine. I'll detail that just a little bit at the end, but for the most part I'm going to be showing you how to convert MJs into EUs. But to be honest, that's actually kind of a lie. There is no way to convert MJs to EUs. Truly, there isn't. You can't convert the actual energy produced by engines, like what you see in a conductive pipe, into EU. You can, however, convert it into something else, i.e. using, say, a magma crucible here. We place that right here, and we instead convert it into lava. And what this does is this lets us create a resource that Industrialcraft can use to generate power. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the Geothermal Generator. Takes lava, creates electricity. What I have here is GregTech's version of the Geothermal Generator. It's actually a lot more broad. It's called the Thermal Generator. And this is what you should be using if you can afford it. It is a little bit of a expensive upgrade. Thermal Generator. I need to double click that to get rid of that. The Thermal Generator, for its recipe, requires these IVAR whatever INVAR ingots. And they take nickel dust, iron dust, to make, and to get that you have to use, I believe, an industrial grinder or for the ferrous ore. Yeah, you use it on the ferrous ore and you can get nickel, and so basically you have to get an industrial grinder up, so it can take a bit before you can get this guy. But this gets you 30,000 EU per bucket of lava, or 1,000 lava, compared to the 20,000 EU that the Geothermal Generator will give you in this setup. Geothermal generators can generate the same EU, 30,000 per bucket of lava, but only if they're directly connected to an Industrialcraft pump. So that can be a bit of a problem. But this whole setup right here, this is the typical setup. And to be honest, this typical setup actually sucks. Using energy to create lava, which you then create another energy source with, actually is terrifyingly bad for Buildcraft energy conversion to Industrialcraft energy. The reason for this is Buildcraft actually values lava at about 5,000 EUs in terms of the equivalent amount of energy that lava generates in a steam engine, I believe. Yeah, I want to say it's a steam engine, and the amount of work it can do compared to an electric engine. It's about 50,000 EU. And this is just a difference in how they value power. Basically, the conversion ratios are based off of how they value coal, but they value lava differently. And for Buildcraft, lava is actually a lot more valuable than it is to Industrialcraft, so it's actually a waste to make lava and put it into Industrialcraft energy system. So instead I'm going to be showing you what you should be doing to make EU if you want to use the Minecraft or the Buildcraft energy system. And the best way of doing this, in my opinion, is biofuel. You can also use regular fuel, which you get by using refineries and oil, but those are a pain. Oil is a limited resource, they're expensive, they use tons of energy, just a huge pain. I'm going to cut to a clip of a video somewhere in this episode about what happens with the fuel conversion system. But for biofuel, all you need is biomass in a still. On the wiki it does say that you should be using these refineries, but unfortunately it doesn't actually produce as much as it should. A still will take 10 and produce 3 biofuel, where this takes 10 and produces 2. Probably not even 2. So I'm going to cut to that clip real quick so you can see how I did this math. So I intend to slice this clip in here. This is me doing the conversion math for biofuel from biomass via stills. And I'm basically running it off one biomass engine which outputs 5 MJ a tick. And according to the wiki, this pulls 5 MJ a tick. However, as we can see over here, my stored energy has been rising. It started off at 700 and it just keeps rising, which makes me think that these aren't pulling the full MJs that it claims on the wiki. But maybe it's just being really inconsistent. It tends to hold here around 1,000, but I think that's an internal limit. But I don't know. But I'm doing this for the math of basically finding out how much biomass it takes to be converted into biofuel using a biogas engine. And it looks like my math was, or my guess was right on via this, and it looks like it's going to take one biogas engine, one can of biomass to basically turn 20 cans into 6 biofuel. And I'm going to use this to do my math for the rest of the system that I use. Now over here I have a refinery. According to the wiki, this is actually supposed to be more efficient than the sorry, I need to get this down to 10. Than this guy over here, the still. It's supposed to get 4 for every 10 rather than 3. But as I'm going to show you here, I'm going to fill it up. It holds 8 at first, so I'm going to have to add these last 2 cans. Let's put a gold conductive pipe in. And off it's going to go. As you can see, it goes straight to green, which is the most efficient once it gets up there. There we go. It goes to green because it's being able to get a full 20 MJ a tick, so it should be at its efficient stage. And while we wait for this, I'm just checking over here. But I'm going to cut to you guys once this thing's done refining and show you the oddity. Alright, and we're back. And we're going to get a nice explosion right here. I want to stand around and watch the bang. This is what happens, by the way, with Buildcraft engines if you pump them into a pipe, but they have nowhere to put the power. They keep powering it up until it builds up that little big huge clot, and eventually it should explode. There it goes, red. Come on, blow up. Blow up. This is honestly taking a load longer than I thought it would take to blow up. There it goes. About time. God, make me wait. Anyways, so that's that. Explosions are always good. But as you can see here, we have 2. Count it, 2 things of biofuel. And that's confusing, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going up with that. Whoops. I'm gonna get a few buckets here and see, can I extract the biofuel? Cannot extract it that way. So yeah, but only 2 things full of biofuel. So I'm gonna cut back once the still is done processing, just to make sure. Actually, never mind, the still's done processing. So we just got a hair under 6. Not sure about why, but we did get a hair under 6. But we could deal with that. And I think I have the wrong cans. Second. Yep, had aluminum cans. No good. So yeah, 5, just can't get the 6th out. So interesting, still didn't do exactly what it was supposed to. But this one, still can't get the stuff out of it. I guess I have to pump it out and then put it into like a liquid transposer. But this refinery seems like a terrible idea. It's not as efficient as it was supposed to be, and this thing takes 20 MJ of power to keep it running versus the 5 MJ that this takes. And so much more power hungry, much more expensive recipe. But anyways, I'll take you back to wherever I was before. Okay, welcome back. So now that you've seen that, stills are the way to go, at least for now. Later on, if they do fix the refineries, it'll be worth using them potentially. But the way that the math works out for this, and let me cut real quick. Alright, so I've typed out basically the rough math here. Basically, in a biogas generator, another thing of forestry that I'll be showing you in a second, it takes one biomass and converts it to 8,000 EU. It also can convert biofuel, which is 3,200 or 32,000 EU, not 3,200, 32,000 EU for one biofuel. But sadly, to make biofuel, you have to convert biomass at a ratio of 10:3. However, this needs power to convert, which is 5 MJ a tick, and doing the math that I did in the video, it takes one biofuel unit to process 20 biomass in the still and convert it into 6 biofuel, not 1. Oh well, we'll ignore that. And so you end up with a 21:6 biomass to fuel ratio. So you might be wondering, why on earth do we need that ratio? Well, just for simple math. Basically, that ends up with a 3.5 ratio of biomass to fuel. And you should probably simply be able to do the math, but if you don't want to bother, you end up with about 28,000 less, actually about 27,500 EU by using biomass, 3.5 of it, that it would take to create biofuel. And so instead, you want to convert it to biofuel first before you turn it into EU. So this is the long math of it all, but just trust me, converting it all to biofuel will be better. You'll get more energy out of it, in theory. And so anyways, let's get back to the point. How do we do this conversion? Well, this one's actually just super simple. You just need a biogas generator, or biogenerator. I was calling it biogas generator. So now that I have way too many of those, just plop one down, put biofuel into it, because that's what you want, and then throw a MFE, or FCU, attached to it, and it generates. Now this, I believe, generates at, what is it? It's not too fast. Yeah, we're looking at like 16 EU a tick. So it doesn't actually generate power very fast, which means that if you want to generate a lot of power, you're going to want to convert it with multiple of these generators. Thankfully, the generators are not terrifyingly expensive to craft. They take gold and a sturdy casing, which is just bronze. So these are actually really easy to craft. So it's not too hard to craft a whole bunch of these to use in parallel so that you can have a bit more. Voila. Have a bit more stuff. I know I lost my biofuel cans. Bam. Biofuel cans. So, voila. This is a nice, easy way of generating EU when you need it. And you can fuel it into one of these guys, and you'll be all good. Now, let's get to the hard part. Doing all this is bad. You should never actually convert Minecraft joules into EU. The reason for this is, as I said, they value resources differently, but even all things considered, not even just the valuing of resources differently, but the way Minecraft joules energy system is calculated and handled, you shouldn't use it to convert to what's it called, Industrialcraft's EU system, because the Minecraft joule system is kind of a wasteful energy system. It's a lot harder to save the resources and power of it, and so instead of creating complicated setups that generate power to convert into, you know, matter like biofuel or lava and then convert that to EU, you'd be better off just using the Industrialcraft direct power systems like solar panels, which are really expensive with Greg Tech, but using stuff like that, geothermal generators, and pumping lava into them, rather than going through all these crazy setups and setting up systems that require all this stuff to convert either into lava or biofuel, it's not worth all the hassle to switch to EU in terms of how much it costs you to set up the systems. Now, if you just want to play around and you want to be a Buildcraft person, but you just need, some EU for whatever reason to power something electrical that you need, well, fine, you can do it this way. But generally, I would advise against converting into EU. This is just a personal preference. You can do it if you want, but the way the Minecraft Joule system works, it's just not very easy to get it into EU, and it's a bit of a waste of power. These gold conduits, for instance, even just putting it through one of these, you start losing power. So you lose power right off the bat by using these kind of energy systems, and you could just create the power much more directly. And so this is how you do it, but I actually don't advise it, believe it or not. But now what I'm going to cover is something I advise, which is using Industrialcraft's EU power system to convert to MJs. And this is very useful for a lot of people, mainly because Industrialcraft power systems are very, very easy to store up and use. And so it's very easy to want to try to use it to power the Minecraft Joule systems. And as I said, this is actually simple to do. All we get is an electric engine right here. Voila, electrical engines. And let's take a glass fiber cable. And I actually don't know if you can plug electrical engines into 512. We're going to find out. Hey, it didn't blow up. So hey, learn something new every day. But I don't have a Buildcraft wrench in this setup, do I? Wrench. Voila. So let's put a let's see, do we have a magma crucible here? Bam. Put a magma crucible, wrench it over, and redstone. And I completely didn't even put that down. There we go. Voila, it's that easy. You just plug the electricity into the engine and run it straight, and I should have turned it back to daytime. Run it straight into the block as you would any regular engine. This also works into conductive pipes. If you get some wood conductive pipes, you can put a wooden conductive pipe and then electrical, and then put your crucibles down, and it works exactly like any other engine. Now there are ways of upgrading this electric engine, and that's a little beyond the scope of this video. I just wanted to show you real quickly how to do it. This produces 2 MJ tick, despite the fact that it's not saying any. I don't know why it's not saying any. But yeah, so this shows you that it takes these complicated setups like this, powering these, and I'm not even including all the pipes you need to pipe around the biomass, or the farms you need, or the oil stuff you need for refineries. It's a lot of mess to convert into EU. It's very, very simple to convert to MJ. So if you're looking at your power systems and you're wondering what you should do, just for the most part, use whatever power system you need, and you can convert if you need to, but it's actually probably best to use both power systems within their own right. Use MJ for engines for when you need MJ, and use EU for when you need EU. While it is pretty easy to use these electrical engines to produce power, and matter of fact, these electrical engines can outperform every engine in Buildcraft, they feel a little cheaty. Not only are they extremely powerful, they are dirt cheap. Electrical engines take 10 gears, which only require stone gear as their base, and they take 10 ingots and glass and a piston. Very, very cheap, very, very easy, and you'll have more fun if you actually play around in the Buildcraft's power system when you're using Buildcraft devices. But for the rare occasions you need it, there's an electrical converter, and in the off chance you need to convert to EU from MJ, well, here's a couple ways of doing it. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments, or if you have anything you'd like me to cover, also leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone. Here is just a quick little show. I'm going to include this after the video of basically what a biofuel to EU power would look like. Here we have our biomass, which has like no biomass in it, because I only just put a couple canisters in there. So, but this is kind of how I've done it in the past. You just basically make a big tank, pump all your biomass, one into the engine, one into the still, then you pour it out as biofuel into biogenerators, which you then plug into an MFESU, and there you go. I don't know the exact ratios of what you need, but I do know that one still can provide stuff to a generator, which can produce energy. I think you need more than one still per generator though. Pretty positive. But as I said, I haven't done the math. This is just kind of an example setup, just to show you, how I would do it if I were going to make this kind of energy change setup. But yep, anyways, thanks for watching. Really the end this time.